Welcome, doll friends, to the Grovian Doll Museum World Doll Day celebration. I'm David Robinson, here with Michael Canadas, who you all know very well. He's working hard these last few weeks on bringing you incredible content for the next few days. In fact, he's going to give us some more content right now.
But you're going to
in
help.
our introduction. I'm going to help?
Yes, you're going to help.
Okay, I can help.
Occasionally he comes out of the kitchen.
Or the packing room,
room.
or my workshop upstairs. But yeah, that's why I'm pale. I don't get out much.
So
Here we are.
I think that one thing we've learned since we decided to do World Doll Day, which was founded by Mildred Seeley, we have been in contact with a lot of people that knew her personally. And one of the things that I keep hearing over and over again, how sharing Mildred was. She shared information, she shared resources, she shared tips. And we have experienced that ourselves this last week, getting this together, because we've had these amazing speakers, and they're all willing to share. And our knowledge...
We know wonderful people,
Yes.
and many of them were here the last couple of weeks working on our behalf.
So, and I think that helps to recommit ourselves to this wonderful hobby that we all share and celebrate World Doll Day.
Right, and I see that we have a lineup of things behind us. And what does that represent? Is it?
Well, it represents to me, I put this together as diversity and children from around the world and ladies from around the world. But where I'd like to start with is your companion, because David is in charge of what goes on in the kitchen. And
what comes out of the kitchen.
Yes. And this is his companion in the kitchen. It's his kitchen doll, and it's an Albert Mark. These dolls were created in the World War I era. But why she's here today is this is a very important doll in the life and work of Mildred Seeley. She was the first person to create a mold of the Albert Marks and share them with the world. And they are so special that every component of the doll, the head, the arms, legs, the body, everything is unique. It's one of the most unique dolls in the world. Say if you have a Jumeau or a Bru, they all have kind of the same type of bodies or same models. The body is only for the Albert Mark, and that's it. And they were created in the World War I era for Margaine Lacroix, who decided to do something about what she saw in the world were widows that didn't have work, and she set out to have these dressed and produce them. And this is David's constant companion in the kitchen. And it is a thrill when we have an event. Don't you think it is, David? When they come walking in and they think they're going to the kitchen and they stop to see the Albert Marks. They don't think they're seeing it. Now, originally, the whole group of dolls, there could be Marie Antoinette and all kinds of historical characters. But I think this lends itself, don't you?
To a kitchen?
To a kitchen.
Well, she has the tools for the job. Yes, she lends herself
to a kitchen.
She can be laundered for sure.
Now this is something David doesn't know that's here. But
why don't I know it's here? Did you sneak it in?
Well, I kind of snuck it in a little bit.
Which? The Japanese doll or the Barbie with the...
Well, both.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he does stealth shopping and things show up.
I have said before, and I believe it, dolls are dolls. And I think that the 1964 Fashion Queen and the 1889 Geisha Girl, they're the same. They're both dolls. They're just separated by time.
An incredible assortment of hairstyles to choose from.
Yes, and what the unifying factor is that they both have wigs. And, you know, we grew up in the generation that ladies had wigs. But I think that they're just an amazing it's a just amazing contrast, and you see more alike than not alike. So we've given you a lot of programs from around the world, and there's also a really good program coming up on ephemeral material, and we showed some ephemeral material of a rubber doll, and I forgot we had one, and then I walked past the image of it hanging up, and I realized here we have it, a rubber doll that we have the original source material. And if we're going to talk about source material, I want to flip over to the other side of the table. Again, in the ephemeral program, we talked about ephemeral, the importance of ephemeral items, documents, photos, etc. Early books, I want to talk about early books. A lot of people like to put the early books down. The early researchers going back to the 1940s, I treasure them. I treasure them not for the antique material, I treasure them for the contemporary material, meaning the people that were making dolls at the time.
Right.
They got it right, don't you agree?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the things
What is that saying you like to use? One can learn from the poorest student.
Right. Not that they were poor students.
Not they were, but they may not have gotten the earliest things right. But then when they're talking about things in their own universe, then chances
Yes.
are it's
and
going to be
without
accurate
them,
information.
one of it may not be David's favorite doll in the collection, but this is one of our treasures, and this is a P.D. Smith, and again, it's like the Albert Mark. It's the World War I era. Germany had we stopped the supply of German dolls coming in, and Mrs. P.D. Smith created a line of dolls, and she was a portrait painter, highly talented. And what we are very proud of is this was made just across the bay from where we are.
Santa Cruz, California.
And they're extremely rare. And the only way we would even be able to authenticate it is because it was pictured in a very early book. And that's the great thing about doll collecting, is the discovery and finding, and we have some great people like Susan Foreman, who's in our club, that educated us on those.
Yes.
We wouldn't have known without her help.
Yeah, she's an excellent researcher. And
So where do you want to go
lucky
next?
to know her. Well, you set this up, so
I'd like to hear what
you
you have to
have the
say.
roadmap to here. I don't understand why W.C. Fields is here.
Because I just adore him. And you know what? You hold him.
Okay, I can certainly do that. I'll be your Vanna, except I just lost
and I'll
it.
hold him, her.
Okay, here we go.
So we have W.C. Fields and Miss Shirley Temple. World famous dolls. And what is interesting about them is everybody's Shirley's friend all around the world. Everyone in just about every country that has a television or a VCR, they know Shirley, and they also know W.C. Fields. So as Shirley Temple, the Black, as the ambassadress said, Shirley Temple's everyone's friend. And that made her her job so much easier. Now, I love W.C. Fields because besides being a great comedian, and these are, by the way, both ideal pieces. He's a ventriloquist piece. But look at this styling of these clothes. It's incredible. I mean, it really is. It's incredible. And he said he would never work with animals or children. And now he has to spend his time in the children's case with the animals.
Yeah. He's surrounded by animals and children.
And I think that kids could play with him because he had such a distinctive voice that...
They even shaded his nose
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
painted him.
But again, I also have it here because this would be considered a girl play doll, and this would be considered a boy play doll, though girls could play with it too.
We have more boy play dolls, most likely.
Yes. And now we're going to go to Germany, and we have a Steiff doll. which is in lovely condition. And you know, he's a Boy
I'm
Scout.
holding him without gloves, but
Look at all
my
those
hands are
wonderful
clean.
accessories.
Yeah. He's got his pack. And
We don't think
incredible
of
boots.
we think of Steiff as bears,
Canteen.
but they made a tremendous amount of dolls,
Yeah, he's super.
just in really nice shape. And a Boy Scout, which David is a little bit of a Boy Scout, as I always tell him.
Well, not really.
Okay, so
Just gullible.
shall we look at the doll that you found?
Well, is that
No.
another boy doll?
Well, I think
And
this
then
is
we've
a boy doll.
completed the boy doll
Okay.
department.
Are you sure? No, well,
I
there's
think
some
so.
more boys, but they're up. Get a load of this. I mean, this is a 300 series Native American, just in amazing condition.
Complete with lunchy tags.
Yes, probably just a little bit earlier
Just amazing.
than
Details.
Shirley and W.C. Fields, but just in amazing condition. And we can.
I have never seen this before. I mean, a second one. We've seen the girl.
Elizabeth
Native
Ann
American.
Coleman has the girl.
Oh, does she have the
Yeah,
girl? But
that's-
I've never seen this boy
No, we haven't either.
anywhere else.
Yeah. And I think that someone bought it and put it in a Hope trunk, and it never got out. So it's pretty much in the condition. But look at the styling of the Lenchi dolls. I mean,
The
even
moccasins
look at the
are
moccasins. I mean, this is what I love about collecting, is seeing these wonderful crafts pieces.
Wonderful.
But he's just one of our favorites. Might as well do Lenchi if we're going to do Lenchi. This is in honor of my grandparents. And at first you would think that she's a Spanish musician, but it's actually a Portuguese lady. And here's World Doll Day. An Italian doll, but a portrait of a Polish actress depicting a Portuguese singer. If that's not World Doll Day, I don't know what is. But, and again, it's
And
just,
like Lenchi did, they have wooden accessories that are just super.
yeah, and very of the period. You know, very
Wonderful
kind of,
guitar and then great hair combs.
yeah, very of the period, the ballet russe and not many people would get away with pink and red together, but it's sensational. So shall we go next to one of my all-time favorites? Is that one of your favorites too?
Oh, absolutely. Well, they're all my favorites.
Yeah, but this was a lucky day when we got Cho-Cho-san, and she is a Bruges 8, and with a beautiful tone of bisque. I don't think that it's particularly authentic Japanese color. I don't think that we know that the kimono isn't authentic. It's wrapped the opposite way. But if you're in France in 1889, you're only looking at a kimono from a photograph.
But regardless, we had some Japanese very advanced
Oh, yes,
collectors
very advanced.
visit one day. They were thrilled to see this doll
yes.
here. And they asked if they could take it out of the
Yes.
case, and we did.
Yeah.
And they told us things about it.
Yes.
They helped educate us.
But they said it's okay.
It's okay. It's not authentic, the kimono, but it's
okay.
the way the French
Yeah.
would do it.
Yeah.
And her little sandals have marked Bruges soles
they're
on
marked.
them, which is just fantastic.
But she's a doll that I never, ever get tired of looking at. And it's one of our favorites. And the body is just amazing. It's in perfect condition, and it's really just about 2 shades lighter than her bisque. Now,
All right, let's give me some credit. Let's talk about the doll.
I was going to do that last.
Oh, you weren't? Okay. Well, I can't wait to get my credit. But we can do that last.
Okay.
Save the best for last.
I was going to do that. Now, again, from sharing. We have a very nice doll club, and we have lots and lots of friends all over the world, and some of them specialize, and they really, really are passionate about what they love, and they'll share it. And it's an unfortunate thing because then we learn and then we have to have
And we
them.
want some.
You have, and so China is represented by the Door of Hope dolls in World Doll Day. And they are some of the most beautifully crafted dolls with a
Yes.
epic story of perseverance and survival, and they're everything that's good.
I mean, you can see how tiny this is.
Yes.
But I love those little shoes, the tiger
great.
slippers.
And then look at that face.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that a fabulous face?
And that design on her cap is not printed, it's embroidered.
Yeah.
It's just- and the collar
And we
is
have done
embroidered.
videos, and you can find them online, about the Door of Hope dolls, because if you're not familiar with them,
It's easy to fall in love with them.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
really is.
yeah.
Especially the children. I
And the
find
children
them
are
particularly endearing.
irresistible, I think. And they're called, most of those are all children in silk, but then there is the
And
kindergarten.
there's a handsome boy up
Yeah.
top.
But we have,
Two handsome
we have
boys.
many of them. We have a whole
Yeah, there's a
gamut
whole
of them.
selection that are fun to study and compare.
Shall we then now look at naturalism in play? And this would be represented by Marie, as in Peter and Marie. And I was very fortunate to actually, at the end of her time, to actually see the original child that was not a child when I saw her, that was Marie was based on. And
That would have been in the early 1990s
Yeah.
on a trip to Germany. Yes.
when the unification of the
Yeah.
East and
You
the West.
actually, did you actually speak to her, or you just?
I was
were-
too afraid.
Oh, she was
But I
pointed
knew,
out to
yeah,
you?
she was pointed out.
This
But
is
now I
the-
would,
This is the
yeah. yeah.
original Marie
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Cameron Reinhardt.
This is the part where we're getting to natural play. Although she's got a fancy dress, they would have play dresses.
Mm.
You know, we were moving away from the fancy frilly French dolls and into the character dolls.
Yeah, I
Which,
think what comes to mind is Kathy Cruz.
yeah,
They're some of the they come with toys as well,
Right.
play toys as well as play clothing. We need a really nice Kathy Cruz in
yeah,
our collection.
yeah. Or 2 or 3 or 5.
Or
Yeah.
at least one,
Yeah.
but to start.
Now, one thing that we're short of, but we're working on it, is American. And so this is our Vermont girl and
The Springfield doll.
Springfield doll. And she's in really astounding condition. And the bodies are fantastic. These are dolls that I think are being right now overlooked because they are American. And
I think they have their passionate collectors.
yes, they do. But
They're just, I mean, we're very forgiving, but this one is, I mean, she has paint.
yeah, most
Some of
don't.
them don't have
Yeah.
paint.
Yeah, but when you feel the body, it's
They're
amazing.
remarkable dolls.
And if you need a weapon to kill somebody, it will do it.
It will do it,
It's
for
because
sure.
it's got wood and metal and all of that. Okay, so
We have this Chinese lady here. Is she there?
we have the Empress, and this has a very interesting provenance. I can't tell you everything, but I know she was purchased in 1889 on a big, grand world tour, and by really one of the leading families in this country that helped build the country. And
she does have her male companion, but he is not in our possession.
he's being tied up right
He's
now.
not in our possession yet, but he will come
be.
to us.
Yes. So
And then we can share more of it. It's a
Yes.
very, very exciting
very
program.
exciting provenance and interesting.
But now we'll have to keep you hanging.
Yeah, we have to keep you hanging.
So we only have.
So the fun thing about collecting is you just never know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. And we started.
And because of the last year that plus that we've all been living through, we haven't been adding really to our collection because we typically see things at events like shows or various other doll events, and we accumulate that way. We haven't been anywhere.
Well, nobody's been anywhere.
Well, but but I'm talking about what we've
Yeah,
accumulated
yeah.
here. We haven't been able to acquire
Add more.
anything. So, yeah, I'm
But-
looking forward to getting back to shopping in life.
Yeah. But many years ago, we were doing an event, and I noticed a very nice European couple, we were setting up our booth, and I said to David, watch them, I think they'll have something nice. And then David walked
So I was
back.
like glue.
No, he wasn't. He was around the room helping everybody set up and all that. So he came back with this doll, which would be, to me, a dream doll. So you can pick her up and take the credit for it.
Oh, I don't need to pick her up. I
Well,
guess,
pick her
but
up, 'cause you're
anyway,
gonna show-
it is. She just like became unwrapped and was thrown onto a pile on a table at this event, a show, and I picked her up because I noticed this wonderful Stanhope in her shoulder plate. And I said, may I walk away with this for a moment? And they kindly said, oh, absolutely. It was a very small fair. So they could have watched me the whole time I was walking away. But I walked over and I said, do we need this? And I thought Michael was going to pass out. And he said, we definitely need that. And I think after we said we would take it, I went to the local branch of our bank in Los Angeles and took out every last dime we had
That's what happened.
in order to
Pay for it.
To pay for it, because they were heading back to Europe shortly thereafter.
So what it is it is a 14-inch Antoine Rochard, and it's a very unusual size, and it's got
Retailed at the
retailed
Simone
at the Simone
Boutique.
And
Rue de
if
Rivoli.
David will turn it around, you can look inside the shoulder plate, and you can actually see
Can't
the
come down
signature
too
of
far.
Antoine Rochard. And then if you can see there's a little square bit in there, and that is the photographic image. So when you look into
Known as a Stanhope.
you'll see a tiny, minuscule photograph of, it could be Jesus holding the hand of a child, it could be Moses.
But typically the images
Are
in
religious.
Rochard dolls are religious. They have a religious theme.
So this kind of
And
proves.
she is on a wood body.
Yeah, some
All
non-doll collectors have said that Rochards were not dolls, that they were table decorations. And I think that this is pretty clearly to anybody looking at it that it is a
Indeed,
doll.
a doll.
Yeah, and she's one of our favorites, not not because of the value, because when
Well, it's irreplaceable.
it's irreplaceable.
Really. I mean,
yeah,
well, not easily. It's not easily
practically irreplaceable.
Practically irreplaceable.
For us, it would be irreplaceable.
Yeah, and she's just lovely. We love to look at her and have her with us.
So I think that this makes a nice introduction of where we're going with World Doll Day. We have,
Well, in this case, World Doll 3 days.
yeah, well, yes, because
Because this is how we roll.
that's how we roll.
It was going to
That's
be,
how we
oh,
roll.
we'll just do a day, a few little things.
Well, and I feel
and
that,
then you mentioned this to a dear friend of ours. He says, I think you should really go with this, and I want it to be a first-class event. And
Yes.
she said, and I'm going to help you.
yes,
And we have to give credit to our friend.
yes, Sharon Barton Maja.
Who actually sent these gorgeous flowers today with a card that reads, congratulations on your event. And I think we need to remove that Y from your and make it our.
Yes. Well, because we couldn't have done it without her.
On this
Yeah.
scale without her help.
Yeah.
She's
And-
a true treasure.
And I want to give
in the world
David
of dolls.
credit because, you see my mug on camera, and it doesn't mean that he is not participating. He keeps the whole thing going. And we have really the last week fed an army multiple times.
We've had ongoing guests here for 3 weeks.
Yeah. So you,
That's
it's
a
been
lot of
it's long-
food.
And
But they're fun. We've had fun. We've had a great time. Absolutely.
And someone sent us a recipe to make for Elizabeth Ann Coleman, who's with us tonight. And they sent the recipe, and I told Ann, the recipe tonight is reservations. So anyways, I hope you enjoy our World Doll Day celebration. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please comment and It's really
And you have, I mean, it's amazing. We can't cover everything in
No, we could
with
not.
what we have in this building, but the sharing has been incredible, and we thank you so much
Yes,
for that.
isn't that been amazing?
Because you've shared things that we would never have access to, and you shared them
fabulous items.
very, very generously with everyone.
And one thing we
So
are
we thank
we are-
everyone who signed up for this event. We thank you for participating.
And we are proud of that. We've done something that I don't know that has ever been done before. Is we have this is an American California establishment, but we've had 2 foreign language programs, and I hope that the doll world takes a look at that, and we have more of that in the future, because we need to bring those people into the fold.
I learned something from our Russian friends, that doll collecting is considered a chic hobby in their country. And I think that's
For
something-
young people.
For young people. I think that's
Young
something
people.
for us to aspire to.
Yeah, so we learned from
Yeah, we
that.
learned that, there is a future, absolutely, in doll collecting.
So, friends, I hope you enjoyed World Doll Day weekend and
And thank you for being with us.
Thank you for being with us. Bye-bye.
Bye.